Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. I'd like to welcome to the stage State Representative Sarah Innamorato to start the program.
How we doing? Are we fired up to see Uncle Bernie today? All right. Are we ready to elect Representative Summer Lee, the first black woman in PA, to Congress? All right. That's the energy I like to see. So I have the honor of serving in the State House, and I've been there since 2019. Along with my, thank you. Along with my sister rep, Summer Lee. And she's like truly my political sister. We ran our political campaigns together for the State House in 2018. Some of you might have been there. We appreciate you. We share an office together in Harrisburg and sit next to each other on the floor. We're in it together. And I've seen Summer Lee move in this space. I've seen her move with power and dignity. I know that she executes her job with integrity and passion. I know she stands up to corporate interests and the powerful. And I know that she is a fighter for us. So I've been there with her, whether it's taking over the House floor so that we could pass meaningful criminal justice reform post George Floyd, or whether we were standing on the picket line with UE workers in Wilmerding. She has always shown us, and feel free to say it with me, that the power of the people is greater than the people in power. So Summer Lee stood with us. It's time that we stand with her. Because millions of outside dollars are pouring into our region to elect a corporate lawyer who made his own millions busting unions, fighting paid sick days, and defending the interests of oil and gas. Not only that, he's used those millions to donate to anti-choice Republicans like Senator Pat Toomey. That's right, we deserve better. Pittsburgh deserves better. I am so proud to represent Pittsburgh. And as we know, that's right, it's good, let's go Pens. We know that Pittsburgh is a union town. And we've really been living up to that reputation recently. Our local teachers union, PFT, they've been fighting against Republican cuts to our public schools. Nurses and healthcare workers at West Penn fought and won a union with SEIU Healthcare. Baristas at the Coffee Tree Roasters, give it up for my baristas, organized with UFCW. We currently have 2 Starbucks who won the union vote and 6 more that are fighting for a union. Here today we have food service workers who are fighting for a union at Robert Morris with 32 BJ. And you're going to hear from them in just a moment. But before they come out, let's give them a proper Pittsburgh welcome. Let's give them a call and response. So when I say union, I want to hear you say yes. Union. Yes. Union. Yes. When I say unions, you say for all. Unions. For all. Unions for all. All right, let's get fired up. Thank you all. Solidarity. And let's go elect Summerlee to Congress.
Please welcome to the stage Marla Blunt and Samson Smith. One is a member of 32BJ and one is organizing their workplace right now.
And thank you all for being here with us today. My name is Marla Blunt, and I am a Homewood Brushton resident, and I have been a member of my union, SEIU 32BJ, for 30 years. I am a Parkhurst food service worker at Duquesne University. You might not know Parkhurst, but you might recognize our company's Smiley cookies at Eaton Park whenever you go there. Being part of the union family has given me financial stability, employer pay health care, and it has allowed me and my coworkers the opportunity to fight and keep these essential benefits that we deserve.
Hello, everyone. My name is Samson Smith, and I am also a Parkhurst food service employee. But unlike Marla, I work at Robert Morris University, and our campus is not yet unionized. I make $5 less than Marla. My paid time off was recently reduced, and I am currently battling stage 3 colon cancer with no affordable employer-provided health insurance. A union would not only provide living wages for me and my family, but benefits like health care and paid time off as I battle this cancer would be life-changing. So join me in Parkhurst that let all their employees deserve a union. You can tell them that on Twitter right now, at Parkhurst Dining, that is at PARKHURSTDINING.
Unions are life-changing for workers, and like Samson said, everyone who wants to join a union should have the power to do so. That is why we are here today to support our union-strong candidate for Congress, Summerlee. Summerlee is in our fight now and has been for a long time. She stands with us at the Union Hall and on the picket line. The Pennsylvania State House, she stood up for legislation that will help workers like me and Samson and so many others in Allegheny County and beyond. Being part of SEIU 32BJ has shown me how important it is to show up when it comes time to voting. I make calls, knock doors, and speak to voters like you because every vote matters. Especially now, there has never been a time in my life as a black woman where voting for a candidate like Summerlee has been more important. My right to vote is under attack. My right to make a choice as a woman about my body is under attack. That is why we need candidates like Summerlee and, of course, the longtime brother, Bernie Sanders, in office fighting for us.
That's right, Marla. Candidates like Summerlee and those in office like Bernie Sanders are in it for the people. They're fighting for good wages, health care for all, and for people like me to be able to easily form a union so we have the dignity and respect that we deserve in our workplace. Companies are scared of unions. That's why they fight so hard to stop them from forming. Look at Amazon and Starbucks in the news right now. They are scared because they want to keep treating their workers like they don't matter, like we are replaceable. But we are not. We, the workers, are what keep big companies going. We, the workers, have the power, and we need strong leaders like Summer Lee to represent we, the workers, in Congress.
So I come to you to say today, when we fight, we win. And we are ready to fight to make sure that Summer Lee is the next Congresswoman from Pittsburgh. Thank you all for being here, and let's get out the vote. Summer Lee!
Please welcome to the stage Jacob Welsh, a newly unionized Starbucks worker.
How's it going, everyone? I'm incredibly honored to be here today. My company on this stage is really incredible. My name is Jacob Welsh. I'm an organizer and worker at the Bloomfield Starbucks, which is the first store in Pittsburgh to file and unionize. I want to start off today by thanking Summer for the part that she played in getting my store that unanimous victory. She might not even know this, but it was never a guarantee that we would win so overwhelmingly. It was only after a rally held outside of our store that Summer attended and spoke at that we knew that we had it in the bag. Summer's speech in particular was brought up over and over again by baristas, some of whom had been on the fence beforehand. She actually played a huge part in making sure that every vote that was cast at my store was a yes. It really meant a lot to see her stand up for us, and she showed us what it meant to be strong and brave. And that's what I think we've been doing. I've watched Starbucks workers all around this city stand up against the lies and threats, the intimidation and retaliation of a $30 billion corporation, a corporation that on our backs made $8 billion more last year than they did the year before, that is spending untold millions on anti-union lawyers. That's right. That's unjustly firing its workers all around the country, threatening to withhold benefits from union stores, and essentially promising us that they're going to bargain in bad faith. That's right. We're standing up to the siren, and we're winning. So thank you, Summer. You're a real example for us to follow. You showed up for us. And I want to let you know that Starbucks workers in Pittsburgh are going to repay that favor and show up for you. And I want to be clear about what's at stake, about why we need people like Summer in Congress. We need someone who's going to fight like hell on every single issue that affects the working class. Issues like reproductive rights and health care, environmental justice, criminal justice and immigration reform, to make sure that every single worker in this country, no matter who you are, where you come from, what you look like, you can live a dignified life. You can walk down the street free from fear of state violence. We need to protect and expand upon LGBTQ rights. We have to reform the education system and the oppressive student loan system that everyone in my generation is familiar with. The list goes on, but these issues aren't just important, they're literally everything. It's our lives at home, at work, at school, it's walking down the street, sitting in the doctor's office, it's the air that we breathe, and it's our very bodies. We need to build a diverse, multi-generational, multicultural coalition based in working class interests, and we need someone who's going to represent those interests in Washington. A proven leader who represents working folks, not a corporate lawyer from a union avoidance law firm. Right now, we need someone who's going to fight like hell for us, and that person is Summer Lee. Again, thank you so much for having me here. It's an honor. I want to end with a line that Summer said at our rally, a line we've been repeating like a mantra at my store ever since, which is just, if you have a boss, you deserve a union. Thank you.
Please welcome to the stage Jody Fountain, a nurse at UPMC Shadyside and an SCIU Healthcare PA member.
Hello. Everybody's all amped up. I'm going to say a lot of sad stuff right now. My name's Jody Fulton. I'm a critical care nurse at Shadyside. I've been with UPMC for 10 years, all that time without a union. It's difficult to put into words how taxing the last few years have been. Short staffing and concerns about providing adequate and timely care were challenges we faced before the pandemic, but the current severity of those issues can't be ignored. There are nearly 280 open nursing positions in my hospital alone, and the loss of staff continues. Despite this, we still care for the same number of patients. There are far-reaching impacts from this crisis, not just for us nurses and healthcare workers, but for anyone who has ever been a patient or will be one in the future. And I'll give you a hint, that's all of us. We don't have the time or the resources to tend to each patient as an individual, the way that we want to and the way that our patients need us to. Not only do our patients go without the personalized, thoughtful care they deserve, but nurses go home after each shift feeling that they haven't delivered the safe and compassionate care they're capable of. Nurses enjoy and truly thrive giving our patients the care that they deserve and getting to know people as people. But we can't do that right now. At a recent unit staff meeting, we said with tears in our eyes to our administrators that we feel that our compassion is being taken advantage of in the name of profit. It probably doesn't surprise any of you, but UPMC did not care. While the rest of the world is doing their best to return to normal, there remains a serious crisis in our hospitals. 93% of hospital workers are thinking of leaving their jobs in Pittsburgh. But hospital executives only provide short-sighted solutions without listening to what we're saying that we need. And we know how to solve this crisis. Nurses and hospital workers need a seat at the table, and hospital executives need to respect our right to organize a union and have a say in the decisions that affect us and our patients. Two years is too long to be operating in emergency mode. We need a real voice as a union to negotiate the improvements we need to solve this crisis. And that's why I'm here today. We need people at all levels of government to stand with us. We've risked our lives to carry our community through the pandemic, and now it's time to ensure hospital workers are respected, protected, and paid. In the current political climate, it's very easy to become disillusioned, unimpressed, and skeptical of politicians. That's why it's more important than ever to put people like us in office. People who will disrupt corporate board meetings to make sure that workers and patients are heard. People like Summer Lee. Summer is committed to using the power of her office to support our right and ability to organize a union because it is what every worker deserves. She knows that unions are one of our greatest tools to reduce inequality, raise wages, and support better benefits and job protections. Billion-dollar industries do not intimidate her. No one is more ready to fight for us in DC than Summer. As essential healthcare workers, we know exactly what we need to be able to provide the best possible care for our patients. The current workforce crisis and the jeopardy it puts patients in will only be solved when every healthcare worker has a union voice, so we can bring forth the systemic changes that will keep us at the bedside. It is up to us to fight for and elect unions for all champions like Summer Lee. We must use our power in this election to make our voices heard and vote to send Summer Lee to Congress. Thank you.
Please welcome to the stage reproductive justice leader and advocate, Sydney Etheridge.
Good afternoon, y'all. My name is Sydney Etheridge, and I just recently came back to the city of Pittsburgh to take the role of president and CEO of Planned Parenthood of Western Pennsylvania. But here, right now, and today, I am in front of all of you as a volunteer and supporter of Summer Lee. Like many of you in this room, I have spent years fighting for the right to abortion and sexual and reproductive health care. And in a blink of an eye, it felt like all that work was wiped away when that leaked Supreme Court decision came out last week. And we all know this is not the first attack on abortion rights and access. And believe me, I have seen many during my time with Planned Parenthood. But this recent attack, it just hit different because it so clearly set the grim expectation of the end of Roe. If this decision stays as is, once it has been officially handed down, we can expect aggressive abortion legislation across the country, meaning that over half the women and people with uteruses in this country would not have access to this vital service. That means thousands of people driving hundreds of miles to get perfectly safe care. Let me repeat that. We supposedly have the best health care in this country, and we're going to make it where people will have to drive hundreds of miles for perfectly safe care. It's just not acceptable. And this is not the end goal for the anti-abortion movement. We know that. Their ultimate goal is to pass a nationwide ban that would block abortion in every state across the country. And here, in Pennsylvania, anti-abortion politicians have introduced a constitutional amendment which, if passed, would basically ban abortion in Pennsylvania as early as next year. And we all know this anti-abortion legislation and these bans are not about protecting health. They're not about protecting the most valuable in our society. These bans do not eliminate the need for abortion care. What they do is make a perfectly safe service dangerous and putting our lives at stake. So it is not about anyone in particular, but rather a rallying point to gain votes from a party that is just trying to maintain control. With 80% of Americans believing abortion should be legal, this opinion and these bans is nothing but outright oppression. Because we know who this will impact the most. This will impact people who already face barriers to health. People of color, immigrants, women, the LGBTQ+ community, people with low incomes, people with disabilities, people in rural areas. That's a lot of people, y'all. That is a lot of people that this will harm. And you know, those people who made this decision, they don't fall into a lot of those categories. And for these communities, the legal right to abortion has never been enough to guarantee access. All of this is a direct result of ongoing white supremacy that has created systematic inequities and substantial barriers to access to health care, and even more limited access to abortion care. And we're seeing that play out right in front of us. Now, that's why it's important. We need to send someone like Summer Lee to Washington. We need people who will not only safeguard the federal right to abortion, but also repeal laws like the Hyde Amendment, which puts care out of reach for marginalized communities and low-income people in this country. We need people who will actively pursue legislation that makes reproductive health care more accessible, like the Women's Health Protection Act and the EACH Act. We cannot continue to have the same out-of-touch, uninspired, unmotivated, wealthy people making decisions about our lives, our health, and our future. Because I'm telling y'all, and we have seen this before, that is what at stakes: our lives, our health, and our future. So we have to vote like our life depends on it, and that's why we're voting for Summer Lee. Thank you.
Could we please have all press photographers report back to the press riser and give another warm welcome to Sarah Inamorado.
Let's give it up one more time for our speakers. Thank you all for bringing that energy. But I just want to take a moment and quietly, I want you to just think about what's on the line for you. What's on the line for someone you love? Is it bodily autonomy? Is it access to health care? Is it in your children's school? Whatever brought you here, hold that dear. Because as they spend $3 million fighting against Representative Summer Lee, that's not just an assault on her, that's an assault on all of us. So what do we do when we're under attack? We stand up and we stand up. That's right, and we're going to fight back by getting on those doors, because the only way that we can counter that level of money is with people power. So we are going to go out, we are going to knock doors, we are going to make phone calls, we are going to watch the polls on Election Day, because it is coming up fast. So what I need, we're going to have a little break. So we'll meet a new friend, but also find the organizers in Summer Lee t-shirts. Can you guys raise up your clipboards? And look at those QR codes. I need folks to pull out their phones. And I need you to point them at those QR codes. And I need you to sign up and get involved in this movement. Because Election Day is May 17th, and remember that the power of the people is greater than the people in power. Thank you all. Sign up. Let's get out that vote.
Everybody, please welcome to the stage State Representative Jessica Benham.
I don't even have to ask. I can tell that you are so excited to see Bernie, to see Summer Lee? Yeah, that's right. What Representative Summer Lee and I have in common is a story of defying the odds. Because you see, the people in power told us that we could not do this, that we could not build a movement that was by, for, and of the people, and that we had to wait our turn. Do we wait our turn? We don't, because the people are greater than the people who are currently in power. That's right. I first met Summer when she was running for office the first time, and I remember being so incredibly inspired by this woman who was beyond qualified for the job, and yet constantly fighting back against people who told her that she was not. I volunteered so much for Summer in that first campaign, and I thought that that was going to be my role, that I would help incredibly qualified women run for office. It's what I thought my role was going to be. And so when my own state rep was talking about retiring, I thought to myself, I am going to find a qualified woman to run for this seat. And every woman I talked to said, well, why not you? And I laughed because I said, people don't elect people like me. We have never, prior to my time, elected an out queer woman to the General Assembly. I am one of 3 openly autistic legislators in this entire country. And so I laughed because people don't elect people like me. And yet, here I am. And I get the honor of working beside Representative Summer Lee every single day. I sit next to her in the House. She's sandwiched by me and Sarah. And it is a powerful row of badass women. So when people tell me that Representative Summer Lee doesn't put in the work, that she doesn't show up, I say that's BS, because she shows up each and every day for every single one of us. And let me tell you, as someone who was a graduate worker at Pitt during the union organizing campaign, I know a union busting lawyer when I see one. I want a congressperson who has stood with unions and with working people her entire career, because that is what we deserve. I want a congressperson who doesn't have to reference a wife, a sister, or a daughter when we are talking about reproductive justice. I want a congressperson who is not afraid to say the word abortion. Because we deserve someone who feels in her bones this fight, who does not have to be told why it matters, because she gets it already. You're going to hear from a lot of history makers tonight. You've heard from some already. But let me tell you, we don't do this to make history. That's just a byproduct, right? Mayor Gainey did not run to be the mayor of Pittsburgh because he wanted to be the first black mayor of Pittsburgh. He ran because he wanted to do the work. for office to be the first out queer woman in the General Assembly or the first openly autistic person in the Pennsylvania's General Assembly. That's not why we do it. We do it to do the work. And I know that Representative Summer Lee is not running for Congress because she wants to be the first black congresswoman from Pennsylvania. She's running because she is going to do the work. So I have the honor of getting to introduce to you all the man who will always be my colleague, the man who it is always better to speak before than after, and the person who I have the honor of calling my mayor. So let's give it up for our mayor, Ed Gainey.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, change is not easy, but change is necessary. And this is why this is not a journey, but a movement. The journey's been happening for decades and decades and decades. The movement is different when you see the hard work of those that came before us to give us this opportunity to change Pennsylvania, to change Western Pennsylvania, to change the city of Pittsburgh. See, I'm amazed, but also okay with it. See, you want to spend $2 million to talk about somebody's character, to talk about them as if you know that you already know that they belong here, to talk about them in $2 million in ads that don't make no sense, that never talk about what you want to do, but you want to talk about with somebody else. Come on. $2 million, as if the prophet is stronger than people. We got one thing that they will never have, because as I said in the beginning, this is a movement. The power of the people have always changed the world. A young black woman from the Mon Valley says you can have your 2 million, but I got 2 million in people. And when we talk about 2 million in people, 2 million coming out to say change is gonna come. DC, get ready. DC, get ready. DC, get ready. Because the reality of the situation is this. We're not sending a politician. We're sending a leader. We're sending a leader that's going to fight for union rights, LGBTQIA rights, fair pay rights, environmental justice, and health care. We send in a leader of humanity to Washington, D.C. to fight for the people of this region, of this state, of the United States of America. The time is now that we, the people, put together a movement that says, here we come. Here we come. So as they put their 2 million on TV, here's what I need you to do. I need you to tell family and friends that the best campaign finance reform that we can have is you. The best campaign finance reform we can have is you. And here's how I know we're going to win. Here's how I know we're going to win. Because when I look in this crowd and I see the young people, when I see the future of them all, when I see the future of tomorrow, when I see the future of tomorrow, the promise of a better America, when I look in their eyes and they see diversity, not as a word that sounds pretty, but a word that says, we are one America, we are one people, we are one humanity. When I look into their eyes and they say, love who you want, when I look into their eyes and say, unions is for all, when I look into their eyes and they want to protect the environment, it's the power of our youth that will take us over. I'm so thankful for our youth. I'm so thankful for our youth. We should do better than that. Put your hands together for the young people who are making change in America. The time is now. We don't have no time to wait. The sense of urgency is here today. The beauty of this is to show special interest that when the will of the people come together, your money is only cents. That we will always be united. Always be united. Unified, solidarity, that's us. That's us. And so I need you to join me. Because see, I need DC to shake. Come on. I need DC to shake. See, we got this saying that we say when it comes to Summer Lee. I need y'all to get loud. Somebody already know it. We believe in Summer Lee. When I say we believe, you say Summer Lee. We believe. Nah, DC can't hear you. We believe. We believe. Listen up. Tell all your friends that we believe in Summer Lee, because here's why. She's justice that can't be denied. And as long as she is justice that can't be denied, we can always make the world a better place. Now let's put our hands together and let's go get it. Welcome to the stage, Congresswoman. Are y'all ready for the Congresswoman? Summer Lee, let's go get it. Shut it down.
Oh, let me get myself fixed up. Let me get myself fixed up. Y'all, can we give a round of applause one more time for my mayor, Ed Gainey? And let me say, because I'm appreciative of everybody who's here to support me. I'm appreciative of our mayor supporting me, but I just want to say that what we just witnessed is our work in action. This is what happens. This is what we fought for. It's what our movement has been built around, so that we are building power of people who are going to stand in the gap for us every single day. No matter what they throw at us, we're going to stand. No matter how hard they come at us, we're going to keep on standing. no matter how much they throw at us, we're going to keep on voting. Because let me say, this movement is worth it. I've been sitting around thinking all day about what I was going to say today, because I'm not even going to, I know that usually when I come onto these stages, this is a rally. We're supposed to be energetic. We're supposed to bring that energy, but I've been sitting around and I've been thinking about just how much we put into getting to this moment. And it's easy. I don't want to even start. It wouldn't be a service to what we've been building if I start with when they started coming for us a couple weeks ago. So I don't even want to start there. But we're going to get to that. But when I think about how long we've been building this up, there have been people here who were with us on day one when 2 women decided to step up and run for state rep. And that feels like a long time ago. I remember when we first stepped up and they said, we don't need people like that. They said, them girls can't win here in Western Pennsylvania. They said, this isn't the type of place where those type of politics are accepted. And we came in and we took out an establishment and we doubled voter turnout and we sparked a movement that hasn't stopped yet. And you know what? When we got done with that, we didn't stop. We said that this movement needs to spread even further. And instead of sitting down and getting in to fit in, instead of going along to get along, we decided that there is more that we can do. That there are more people who we are going to empower and lift up. And we kept on coming back, cycle after cycle after cycle, until we got the first black mayor from Pittsburgh in office. And they have thrown everything that they have at us. Every cycle they've thrown what they had at us. They've looked at our movement and they say and they speak with good words. They'll say Pittsburgh is a union town. But when our Starbucks workers were out on the front line, everybody wasn't there. Everybody wasn't there. But this movement was there. This movement was there. And that's why we are seeing a labor movement that looks like our workforce. We are about to see the mightiest labor movement in this country that we have ever seen before. And this labor movement is going to be workers from all over. It's going to be Amazon and UPMC, because we're coming for UPMC next. And we won't be done until we've unionized every Starbucks. And our library workers and our service workers. We know that when we build out a robust labor movement and it goes hand in hand with what we're building, that's when we are going to get the progressive transformational change that we're here fighting for right now. This is what we've been fighting for. So let's get into it. Because when we decided that we were going to put forth and run for Congress, because it's not just me. And that's the one thing that I know. When people attack you and when they come for you, you know you must be doing something right. You must be doing something right. But I want to be clear in this moment. It's not me they're attacking. They're worried about me. They're worried about Ed. They're worried about us. They're worried about you. If they were in this room right now, they would not be able to stare us in the eyes. They wouldn't be able to look us straight up, because they would know what they're going up against, because they would know what they're trying to stop. If you are somebody in this country who cares about people, why would you want to stand in the way of health care for everybody? If you care about this country and you care about our party the way they say, why would they stand in the way of clean air and water for every child in this room? How dare they get in the way of us fighting for every worker to have a living wage and a union and paid sick and family leave? How dare they do that? How dare they come into our movement and say that what we're fighting for isn't worth it? To say that what we're fighting for isn't for now. No, we are going to show up every right now because everything is on the line right now. They giving me the signal to wrap up, but let me get into it just real quick. If you'll give me just a moment since it is my rally. We are about to, because I want to show y'all, I want to tell y'all that we aren't going to be afraid of our $3 million because a better world is possible. In honor of who we're about to introduce, I want to say a better world is possible, and we're building it right now. We're going to build it every single day because a better world is possible, and they might throw millions and millions of dollars at us, but we're going to build it anyways. They're going to throw candidates at us, but we're going to build it anyways. They're going to bust our unions, but we're going to build it anyways. They're going to run the nastiest ads that they can think of. They are going to lie, and they're going to cheat, and we're going to build it anyways because this is the future that we are fighting for. And let me tell you, every single worker is worth fighting for. Every child is worth fighting for. Affordable housing is worth fighting for. Healthcare is worth fighting for. A Green New Deal is worth fighting for. Infrastructure is worth fighting for. Our planet is worth fighting for. Black and brown folks are worth fighting for. Abortion rights are worth fighting for. Queer and trans people are worth fighting for. So we got our charge, and we know what we're going to do. So I want you right now to take this energy that we are feeling in this room, because every time one of those ads play, they do it on purpose, right? It's supposed to demoralize you. You're supposed to feel afraid. They want us to quake. They don't want us to swell with the pride that we have when we are in movement like this together. But we're going to take what we have gotten here, and we're going to knock it on every door, because there are people that we need to reach. So if you are here and you're fired up, if you're here and you are tired of them blocking our progress, if you're tired of taking away from us what we have worked for, then let's just say we have 5 days. We have 5 days, and we are going to go out and get every single voter, because we will win this. So let me do the ask real quick. In this room, if you are fired up, if you are tired of the money, the dark money that's coming into this election, if you're tired of the people who are not going to work for us, aren't going to represent our values, if you know that this movement that we've been building can't stop right now, this is going to be the biggest test. This is the biggest test that our movement has had yet, which means that we got to stand even taller than we've ever stood. We got to stand braver and more courageous than we ever have, because there's a lot of deception out there, and we're going to have to fight back against it. So what are we going to do? In the next 5 days, we are going to knock every door that we can find. We're going to call every voter that we can get a hold of, because we got to give them the good news of that better world that we're building. And we got to let them know we're building it for them and with them. So if you look around the room, if you look around this room, you will see people who have QR codes in their hands. They got them on posters. They got them on clipboards. Find the QR codes, and we want you to sign up. I know that most people don't like knocking on doors, but that's all right. That's all right, because remember, we just chanted that clean air and clean water is worth it, right? Unions for all is worth it, right? Our kids and their better schools are worth it, right? So we need y'all to sign up and help us to go and find people everywhere they are. And that's what we're going to do next. But right now, I want to introduce y'all for the reason you're here. I know that you're not just here for us. I'm flattered. It's so good to see you all. But I know that we are here because, and this is important, right, that Senator Sanders flew in town. He flew in for Pittsburgh because he has been seeing the movement that we've been building. And it isn't just now. When I first won my first election in 2018, it was the day after the election day, and I was so tired. And I was getting all these phone calls, and then I get a 202 number, and it was Senator Sanders on the phone. And I didn't know what to say. But he said everything that needed to be said. He said, I've seen what y'all did there. I've seen the movement that you've been building here. How can we spread this movement all over the country? And Senator Sanders has been a leader in this movement for so long, and he has sparked a movement, an electoral movement that won't be stopped just when we don't get our election, because we keep coming and we keep coming. And we have built and we have gotten it bigger and bigger and bigger every election cycle, so we can't be stopped. So right now, I want to bring the reason why this movement is as big as it is, the reason why we are able to build the way we are. So right now, without further ado, Senator Bernie Sanders.
Thank you. You know, I look out at this crowd, and I have no doubt that you are looking at the next congressperson from this district right here. And I want to thank Summa for inviting me to be here. Mr. Mayor, great to be here with you as well. No, it's not me. It's you and it's Summer. That's what we're talking about here. So let me tell you why I got on a plane from D.C. a little while ago and why I'm here. And that is at a time of massive income and wealth inequality, at a time when the billionaire class is becoming more and more wealthy and more powerful, at a time when the middle class and working class are struggling, at a time when we got 600,000 Americans sleeping out on the streets. We need members of Congress who have the guts to stand up for working families, and to have the courage which I should tell you is very rare in D.C., to take on the powerful special interests who control this country. I am here in Pittsburgh today because Summerlee understands that a $7.25 an hour federal minimum wage is a starvation wage. And together, we're going to raise that minimum wage to a living wage. I'm here because Summerlee understands that our current tax system is not only regressive, it is corrupt. We cannot allow billionaires, multi-billionaires, some of the richest people in this country, some of the largest corporations in a given year to pay nothing, zero, in federal income taxes. With Summer at my side, we're going to make these oligarchs start paying their fair share of taxes. Summer understands, as I do and as all of you do, that health care is a human right, not a privilege. Just this morning, just a few hours ago in the Senate, as chairman of the Budget Committee, I held the first Senate committee hearing ever on Medicare for all. And Summer understands that the function of a rational healthcare system, which, by the way, exists in many industrialized countries already, is to provide quality care to all, every man, woman, and child, not to make huge profits for the insurance companies and the drug companies. And with Summer fighting in the Congress, we're going to end the disgrace of the United States paying by far the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs. How absurd it is, how crazy it is, how irrational it is. 1 out of 4 Americans cannot even afford the prescription drugs their doctors prescribe. Summer is going to stand with me, and we're going to take on pharma and the entire industry. Just a few moments ago, just before I walked in here, I met with some wonderful and brave young people who have organized Starbucks Shop, creating unions. And we're seeing workers at Starbucks across the country, workers at Amazon, standing up to their billionaire owners and demanding dignity on the job. And Summer understands, as we all do, that we're not going to have a middle class in this country unless we have a strong trade union movement. And Summer understands, again, as most Americans understand, that a great nation is judged not by the number of billionaires it has, not by the number of nuclear weapons it has, but by how it treats the weakest and most vulnerable among us. That is why Summer is going to join me in fighting for universal child care. Free pre-K. And we're going to make public colleges and universities tuition free. And again, I want to talk, Summer talked about a movement, which is what it's all about. Even on that issue, we're making real progress. Just a couple of months ago, in New Mexico, they announced free tuition at public colleges and universities. Oh, and by the way, if we could bail out the crooks on Wall Street, we can forgive all student debt in this country as well. And unlike too many of my colleagues in Congress, Summer understands that climate change is, in fact, an existential threat to this planet. And that is why she will join me and so many others in a willingness to take on the greed of the fossil fuel industry and create millions of good-paying jobs through a Green New Deal. And Summer understands that we will never be the country we are supposed to be unless we end systemic racism in all of its ugly forms in this country. And as this last week has told us, now more than ever, we all have got to stand together to make sure that it is women, not the government, who control their bodies. I'm here in Pittsburgh this evening for all of those reasons and more. But I'm here for another reason as well. And that is, and this is why this election is so enormously important. I am here because we can no longer allow a handful of billionaires to buy elections. Right here, as you well know, we have a handful of billionaires funding super PACs. And by the way, I want you all to know, this is not just happening here in Pennsylvania. It is happening in North Carolina. It's happening in Texas. It happened recently in Ohio. And the question that I hope everybody, whether you even agree with someone on the issues or not, ask yourself a question. Why do these billionaires spend millions of dollars here in District 12 in Pennsylvania? Do you think they give a damn about the people in District 12? In all likelihood, they may never have set foot in Pittsburgh. They don't know the people here. They could care less about the people here. So I want you all to think about, what is this about? Why are they spending millions to try to destroy Summer and to defeat her in this election? And the answer is obvious. These billionaires want candidates who will go along with the status quo and not threaten their interests and their privileges. Well, I got some bad news for them. Summer is going to threaten their privileges and their interests. Now, I have to tell you, it's kind of funny, as I understand it, among other things, these lying ads are telling the people of Pittsburgh that Summer is not a strong Democrat. And now it's funny because, you know, the last time I was here, Summer, you and I were together at a car rally. Remember that? Trying to get Joe Biden elected president of the United States. I don't recall seeing any of these super PAC guys at that rally. Now, the other thing that would be funny if it weren't so pathetic is that these ads paid for by AIPAC are attacking Summer because he's not a loyal enough Democrat. Well, what you should know is that this organization is funding over 100 Republican candidates or endorsing. So here you have a super PAC saying she's not a loyal Democrat, while they're endorsing over 100 Republicans, including many who even refuse to acknowledge that Joe Biden won the election. Talk about hypocrisy. Talk about a corrupt political system. And that is why Summer and so many of us are going to do everything that we can to put these super PACs out of business by overturning Citizens United. So this election is enormously important because we need a strong progressive like Summer in the Congress. But honestly, it is even more important that we tell these billionaires that we will not allow them to buy elections and control this democracy. Because if they win here, and if they win in Texas, where they're doing the same thing, and often it's women of color who they are spending all this money against. But if they are successful, they will carry this into November. These guys have unlimited. You don't know what unlimited is. Unlimited. Few $1 million, that's chump change. They have billions of dollars at their disposal, and they will use that money to protect their wealth, to protect their power, to protect their special interests. So tonight, I say to those folks, even if you don't agree with someone on all of the issues, understand you need to vote for her to tell these super PACs, these billionaires, they cannot buy elections in Pennsylvania or any place else. Look, as Summer has just said better than I have, at the end of the day, the only way that real change takes place is from the grassroots on up. It never takes place from the top on down. It takes place when working people stand up and say, enough is enough. All right? And that's what this campaign is about. They have the money, we have the people. So in the next few days, in the final days of this campaign, as someone just said, let's knock on every door that we can. Let's grab our friends, our relatives. Let's bring them out to the polls. This is an historic election. Let's win it. Thank you.